Hello everyone. Here to let you know what happened on Alone Frozen, the season finale. Now, in case you wonder why I'm doing this in the dark, I have no goddamn power. The storm hit where I live at, and every time there's a rainstorm, a windstorm, a snowstorm, we lose power all the time. And where I live at, folks, what frustrates the heck out of me is they always repair power on the road, but they forget, I believe on purpose, they forget that half the road is on a different grid than the whole road. So half the road has power, the other half doesn't, of course. Yeah. So I apologize for being late to do this video, but I was frustrated for the past 3 days with no power. Just due to stupidity. On my opinion, just due to stupidity. About forgetting that there's two different grid lines on this road. Anyhow, back to Alone Frozen. Callie, she quit 5 minutes into the 2-hour season finale. She tapped out because she checked her traps. No luck. She went to check her fish trap. She struggled pulling the line out of the frozen water. She ended up taking a rock and throwing it off a bigger rock to smash the frozen ice to pull out the fish trap. No fish. And she had said the week before that, sorry, bumped into something, that if she had got something in her trap, she would stay 1 hour a day. Do it day by day. But since she didn't catch nothing, she tapped out. I was disappointed because I was really rooting for Callie to win this redemption challenge. But she did great, folks, in my opinion. Out of the 6 people, she came in 3rd place. So, it came down to Michelle and Rhyony. They showed their journeys up to a certain day mark. Michelle, she was having no luck, catching no food in her snares and that. But she spooked a rabbit. She killed it, took it back to camp, skinned it. Ate it up, kept the fur to news for something. One day she had apparently stored mussels and clams in a scarf, and she had buried it in the ground with some thick brush in that to keep it away from predators, wildlife. So she ate the rest of those up. Each one of those mussels and clams will give you 9 calories per one, roughly estimate it said. One day she was out and about, checking her snares again, no luck. And she found some blueberries, and she started gathering those up. And then she saw a grouse that just happened to walk right behind a rock. She fired at it, hit it with the bow and arrow, but the poor thing was still alive. It took off. She ran after it through the brush and there in the thickets. She finished it off with a second bow and arrow shot, and then she cut its head off. And she had a good grouse meat. So she skinned that, took it back to camp, and ate it. But what happened to Michelle... Well, it's the same thing happened to Rhyony. 2 back-to-back wind snowstorms occurred within a couple days. So both days they stayed indoors the whole day, all night, and closed the shelter, cut off any way that the wind would blow in, the cold wind and all that. So, the tunnel that Michelle had made for the insulation for the smoke to travel out of the shelter, she closed it up to stay warm. What happened was all that smoke insulation affected her eyes. Her eyes started burning, especially her left eye. So she freaked out due to medical reasons. Like, she didn't know what was going on. She didn't know how to cope with it, what was going on. So she tapped out, folks. Michelle tapped out 12 days out of the 50-day challenge. She lasted 38 days. She came in 2nd place. And she said there was no regrets. She loved beating her former season's challenge of only lasting a couple days. So she was happy with the performance she did this time around. I was happy as well for her. So, Rhyony won Alone Frozen. She's the first ever woman to win alone in the 9 seasons history. Series there, sorry. But in order for her to win the $500,000... she had to stay to the 50-day mark. Because the way it worked, which I didn't know at first until they announced it at the season finale, was with 50 days it came of there was like 3, 2, 4 people left. Each one was split the $500,000. But, so she had to stay for 50 days, not knowing how many people was left. So she made it. She almost tapped out. No, the exact same day Michelle tapped out. Because she did the exact same thing Michelle had done. And closed her shelter completely. And the smoke and all that bothered her eyes as well. But she decided to do something Michelle didn't do. She poured the water over the campfire, took out the smoke, and the fire went out. And she just went to sleep and rested her eyes. Woke up, her eyes were fine over a few hours. So she lasted. It showed her journey up to the 50-day mark. She caught a rabbit, but the poor rabbit was still alive because the leg was stuck in the snare. So she finished her off with her hatchet, and you could hear the poor thing whining and squealing in pain. She ate some mussels and clams, and she just enjoyed it up to 50 days. She had no problems whatsoever. She loves the outdoors. Like she said, I can spend months just living in the wild. She's so used to doing this. So congratulations to her for winning. On day 50, her husband or boyfriend surprised her. Then she knew she had won. And she also found out she was the only survivor left on the show, the contestant, I mean. So she wins the whole $500,000. She said that would go a long way to help her and her family out. And yeah, like I said, she's the first woman to win alone in the 9 seasons it's been on, the show's been on. So congratulations. There you have it, folks. Let me know below if you were happy who won it. Were you hoping it was Michelle, like me, Kelly, to win it? And yeah, stay safe, everybody. Too sweet. Bye.